Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Just give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up, horses over. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up, horses over. Just let me be blunt. My speech in the morning, nothing but grunts. With no coffee, that's as dangerous. On a scale from 1 to 10, I rank it that girl from Stranger Things. And if you get what I'm saying, my attitude be mad flagrant like I'm Draymond. But you ain't get the picture, BFP. So I'm gonna keep pushing on you, GNC. It's like, yeah, the first thing on my mind is when that hot coffee gonna seep into the coffee grind. It's like some magic's floating on in the air. Toss some ice cubes in my cup, it's a good day. All I gotta say is that it's starting in a good way. It's time for working and I don't even care. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Just give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up, horses over. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up, horses over. Start fresh, that's how it's gotta be. Everything starts back with your coffee bean. If it's cold brew, then it's gotta be coarse. Don't get the cart ahead of the horse, start learning the course. But of course you can disregard, and don't at me if it gets too hard. When it's my time to drink, man, it's always on hand. Drink from a cup or a bottle, even a can. You never know when you're craving no hit. It could be in the bathroom while you're taking a Ric Flair, I'll say he ain't got nothing on it. When that coffee hits my lips, it's a seance. Feeling real super with the cape on. Anything I'll take on. This cup of coffee, yeah boy, this is the shit. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Just give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up, horses over. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up, horses over. Third verse, so I guess that's where I talk about how we might be addicted in a roundabout kind of way, or how you say, a dependency that's in my life, and I'm proud to say it's filling me. Way more energy than I'll ever need, keeping me up for things I thought I'd never see. Time's gonna kill us all one day, whether old age or messing from listening to Coldplay. F that noise, wubba lub love. Drink all the coffee, chug a lug lug. The day doesn't start till you're on your
Good morning, all of you beautiful nerds from around the world, and welcome to the morning stream here on the Den of Nerds Live, the very best way to start your nerdy day. On today's show, whoa, a little bit of a spicy one. Anthony Mackie calling out Marvel Studios' Kevin Feige for representation. Very interesting story when it comes to Black Panther. This is exactly the kind of story that I think is better to talk about in a live stream than to do in a singular video, because I really want to get feedback from you guys and get into all the ins and outs of what he said and what we think it means. Nobody's wrong, just want to hear opinions. That's going to be juicy. We'll save that for later. Also, despite what Adam from Fanjecture wants to tell you, there's crazy news about him saying that Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to be like a 6-hour movie. That's going to be crazy. We are going to be getting into that. Also want to talk about The Boys and just any question in general that you have about the nerdy shit going on in the week. And I want to say too, as we get started here, holy cow, you guys are really, the support is just ridiculous right now. Thank you guys so much. We have so many people joining as members. Yes, officially memberships are live for this channel. So the Patreon, we're sort of walking away from that. The Patreon is no longer going to be the main way that we support the Den of Nerds. We are instead heavily focusing on memberships. And I got to give a special shout out here. Chat, pause the music for a second. This is serious. Pause the music. A very special shout out to Trev. Okay? Guys, Trev has been supporting me and the Den of Nerds for like a long time, and Mav as well, right? So I'm gonna shout out Mav and Trev. Guys, these guys have been watching me for years. They've been very supportive. Trev was one of our first Patreons. He's been a supporter of us on Patreon for a long time. I can remember Patreon streams as I'm driving across the country, and in my head, I'm just like, man, nobody's going to watch this live stream anyways, but I promised it, and so I hop on a live stream, and people like Trev and Mav were like the only people there. We've had a ton of people support us for a really long time. It's been humbling. It's been just awesome, and I love every one of you, and the amount of support that's pouring in right now is absurd. Thank you guys so much, but a special shout out to Trev and to Mav just for being like serious OG supporters and just really important to the community. I don't want to get too distracted. I don't want to get too emotional, but wow. It's we have an incredible community here. But yes, so we officially launched memberships. I see a ton of you guys coming in here. So the way this is going to work, I'll speak briefly on this, and then we'll get right into the content. I know a lot of you are probably not here for all this, but the way this is working is there are two levels to the membership, okay? There is the level that's the Nerdvenger, and then there's the Nerdvenger Prime, okay? Nerdvenger, essentially what you're going to get is you're going to get this cool badge. You see that Nerdvenger badge, how it's the Avengers symbol, but with the N, right? Thanks, Trev. Appreciate you, brother. So that's going to come in. You're going to get that. And by the way, this is really cool. As you keep going, like as you get to your second month, your third month, your fourth month, all the way down, guys, the badge is going to look slightly different and look doper and doper. So, I've seen it in communities before where people will make fun of the red badges because they're like the newbies on the block or whatever. I mean, we'll see what happens in the general hazing and things like that. I'm getting some talk. I don't know what the link is for the membership thing. There should be a join button on this stream somewhere, and then you can join via that way. If one of the producers could maybe help me out and take care of that. Anyway, you should also have access to 3 emojis that I've already put in there, and we're gonna put a ton more emojis into the thing for the community. So that's going to be dope. And the Nerdvenger Prime, the only big difference of the Nerdvenger Prime is you also get access to a stream every Sunday at noon that's really like behind the scenes and business talk. So for most of our peoples, most of the people that want to support us, the $5 a month is literally all that we ask. It really helps us out. It is mind-blowing the amount of members that are coming in right now. Thank you guys so much. And then the Nerdvenger Prime, you're just going to get some cooler emojis and access to the behind-the-scenes streams on Sunday. But anyways, enough about all that. You guys are amazing. You're freaking me out with all this love. Thank you so much. You don't see a join button? Look, we'll get that sorted out. Look, I can't... We'll get it sorted out. We'll get the link in there. I'm sure one of the members will work on it. Ryan or Tara, if you're watching, you guys might be able to fish that out from the back end of the channel because you both have access to the back end of the live streaming channel. Okay. So again, thank you. You guys are amazing. Thank you. But we've got a job to do here. Let's get going. Whew! Here we go, baby. Monday!
It's the craziest news of the day. Yo, this news is crazy.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Anthony Mackie coming out and talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, earth-shattering revelations coming from this Variety article. We're going to break it down right now. Here we go. I'm going to read right from the article here. Title: Anthony Mackie says Falcon and the Winter Soldier is like a 6-hour movie. Holy shit! The article reads, Anthony Mackie says upcoming Disney Plus series The Falcon and the Winter Soldier will feel similar to movies from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but there has been one major difference in making the show: the budget. The miniseries is supposed to cost $150 million, which is a massive sum for a TV show. But that's still less than the half... Wait, what? But that's still less than half the $350 million price tag of Avengers. Endgame. In an interview with Variety, Actors on Actors Issues, Mackie talked to David Diggs about the project, where he reprises his role as Falcon opposite of Sebastian Stan's Winter Soldier, shooting on a series which is executive produced by Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige. Stopped in March due to, well, we all know why it stopped. Anthony Mackie goes on to say, we were in Europe and everything got crazy in Europe first, Mackie said. So they shut us down 2 weeks before the U.S. shutdown. It was really amazing just because I feel like we're the first Marvel show or movie that had budget constraints. And that was always my experience. It's Marvel. We could shoot forever. And they're like, nah. So it was a very different experience from the rest of the movies. But at the same time, it was a lot of fun. Those movies are like summer camp, Mackie continued. And this show, it was no different. It was the same group of people coming together to make it work. And so the stunt stuff, everything is just on another level. Every show, every movie, they just push it. They push the envelope so much. So hopefully, knock on wood, we'll be going back soon. When pressed for more details, Mackie revealed that Falcon and the Winter Soldier will look like a Marvel movie. We're shooting in it exactly like a movie. Everybody who had worked on TV before was like, I've never worked on a TV show like this. The way in which we were shooting, it feels exactly like we were shooting the movie cut up into a show. So yeah, so that's pretty much what he's talking about there. And let's go back into the chat. Let's see what you guys got to say about this. So yeah, look, I'm just gonna be real. Look, and all the members coming in, you guys, you're melting my heart. You guys are freaking amazing. Thank you. Love, love, love. I love you all so much. And try out those emojis. By the way, we're going to talk about what emojis we want to add here. I'm thinking like some angry Terra emojis. You know, anytime I say something bad about the Batman or something, you guys could spam some angry Terra emojis, you know. I feel like we'll have a whole emoji set for After Dark, to be honest with you. But anyway, let's talk about this. So, it's gonna look like movies. Okay, look, I'm gonna be real. Adam was right. Okay, look, Adam was right. It's really not news. You know, it's really not news. However, it is worth talking about again, just contextually, because man, we're missing so much of the hype when it comes to Marvel, and it can feel like, honestly, I kind of feel like this, and I know like Stormbreaker has sort of said that he feels like this, etc., etc. It feels like all of this stuff is a long ways off. All of this stuff is a long ways off. Like all the Marvel stuff, like we've suddenly forgot that Feige and Marvel Studios are literally probably the best studio, at least for the superhero stuff, we've ever seen. Their production, the action set pieces, the choreography, music, costumes, everything, all of it is just so ridiculously good that I think, you know, the hype sort of dies down, and obviously 2020 has been god awful. It's been absolutely horrible. Look at all these nerd Vengers. You guys are freaking amazing. Holy cow. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. But I just think it's worth talking about again and reminding everybody that, yeah, the way they're doing these is going to be MCU movie quality. Like, we're going to sit down and we're going to watch like 6-hour bits, you know, maybe even 8-hour bits of MCU movie type stuff. It's out of control. It's out of control. And, you know, we're going to get into Mackie's comments about Black Panther and about representation, but thank you guys so much. God, you guys are, it's ridiculous. You guys are awesome. You guys are too awesome. By the way, we're going to fix that little thing. I know it's got the zombie dude right now, but we'll fix that so it'll look cooler when people come in, and do this. Okay. Thank you. We're going to get into Anthony Mackie's comments about this, but we know, because we've been talking about this for a good bit here, that Isaiah Bradley and the red, white, and black comic book and some racial issues are going to be a big part, or at least a part of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, okay? So if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is actually something that sort of takes reference from the real world and the Tuskegee experiments, okay? You should look that up if you don't know what that is. But essentially, what they're going to do in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I should say slight spoiler warning. I think if you've been watching this channel for a long time, or the main channel over on the Den of Nerds, you'll be aware of what I'm about to talk about. But essentially, there will be a Black Captain America and an experimental program put on by the U.S. government where they are experimenting with the super soldier serum on African Americans. Okay, and this was bad. It had negative results. Okay, and so this whole idea of that underlining story, and the very fact that we believe after this show, Sam Wilson will be Captain America. We will have a Black Captain America. Okay, and I think generally considering what has been going on in the world in 2020, that'll be a very welcome thing. I think in a lot of ways people will heavily embrace that. So Falcon and the Winter Soldier going to come out and really make some waves and do some things right. However, as we get into, not everything is hunky-dory over at Marvel Studios, and not every person, but, you know, especially I think in the context of this conversation, not every Black person feels the same way about representation, about a studio's responsibility when it comes to representation, and how we seriously move forward. So we're going to get into that. It's going to be very, I don't know, controversial maybe, what Mackie said to Black Panther, and I'm super interested in what all of you guys have to say about that. I think it's a very, very interesting topic. But for now, we're going to leave that for now. I want to take a sort of lighter turn here and talk about The Boys, and then we'll get into Anthony Mackie calling out the MCU. Okay. So just in general, though, feel free to let me know in chat. What do you guys think about Mackie saying that it's going to be a 6-hour Marvel movie? What do you think about that? Is Adam right? Is this a non-story? Is it something we should gush about? You let me know in chat, okay? Now, is anybody a member outside of the USA? I'm not sure. Russell says stoked. Man, look at all these beautiful Nerd Vengers. You guys are awesome. Same thing I always say, tokenism. Well, we're going to get into that. Because I think that tokenism article or issue is interesting, and it's worth talking about. Because I think in some ways, especially when it comes to like big corporate moves, a lot of stuff is done symbolically, and a lot of stuff is done really to appease the market rather than to actually push social change. Guys, these are complex issues. I don't know if there's anybody I would say like, oh, this person's 100% right on this or not. It's a complicated issue, and that's why I think it's important to do these issues in live stream so that we can really get into this and talk about this. By the way, I don't control what they talk about on After Dark, but I am going to suggest, just because the After Dark cast is incredibly diverse, I think it would be cool if After Dark kind of went over this as well. The Anthony Mackie comments. You know what I mean? Yeah. Isn't Stormbreaker having trouble too? That's my point. Yeah, there might be. Look, we will iron it out. We will iron about. I cringe when we talk about racial issues. Let's talk about comic book movies. Social distance, where I totally feel you, bro. Unfortunately, there's a lot of overlap here. You know what I mean? We can do that, Lavis. Awesome. So let's talk about The Boys. So The Boys had a pretty dope little announcement come out on Friday. First of all, let me know in chat, how many of you guys are familiar with The Boys? How many of you watched season 1 of The Boys? Let me know in chat if you have. I'll try to stay a little spoiler free about it, but we're eventually are going to have to talk a little bit about the next season. Gallo coming in with the super chat. Thanks, man. Oh boy. Awesome channel. Looking forward to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Who's looking forward to Marvel's Avengers game? Hey, man, let them know. Let them know if you're looking forward to the Avengers game. I know there's a couple of people that are for sure. I think Captain Pennsylvania, Wu-Tang, Wells. I I think Lavis, right? Lavis, you're really pumped about it, right? So a lot of peeps be excited for that game. Look, I'll probably get it. I'm not that excited though, just being honest. Haven't yet, but plan to. Spoilers. I will warn you when we get into spoilers, and I'll keep it very, very basic. Star Wars Santa says Umbrella Academy was much better than The Boys, you think? That's interesting. Haven't, but heard I need to hop on that bandwagon. Yeah. No, you certainly do. You certainly do. Okay, let me explain this. The Boys is so good. The Boys is so good. I thought about doing a video like almost as soon as I saw it. And literally the thumbnail was going to be like Homelander and Captain America on the thumbnail, okay? And then I was going to have like a really like clickbaity thing on there that says better than the MCU ? I absolutely love The Boys. I thought The Boys was some of the most intriguing television I had seen in a long, long time. I was hooked. I was captivated. I needed to keep watching it. Like, you know those shows, man? I don't know if you guys have had this experience. Trinity. Oh, my God. Oh, by the way, Trinity, I got your message on Patreon, and I'm very glad you're coming around and understanding that you essentially need to be woke now. So, woke Trinity on the way, everyone. So The Boys just totally captivated me. Like, I thought it was amazing. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I needed to keep watching, right? My thing was, like, I watch an episode and I'm like blown away and really intrigued, but the way it was formatted was so cool. I needed to keep watching. I couldn't believe how cool The Boys season 1 was. And it ends on one of the best cliffhangers I've ever seen. One of the best cliffhangers I've ever seen. Like, what? I need to know what is going to happen in season 2, okay? And for a long time, we didn't know when the show was going to come out. Originally, before 2020, destroyed the world, The Boys was supposed to come out, I believe, early this year. They sort of streamlined production on The Boys, and it was supposed to come out earlier this year. Obviously, that didn't happen. And we hadn't heard anything about when it was going to come out in general. But then, on Friday, they're doing a live stream. They've got the full cast on there. They've got Eric Kripke. They've got Patton Oswalt. They're going over everything. They show like the first 3 minutes of, or like a little teaser. I think it's the first 3 minutes of episode 1 of season 2. They announced that it would be coming out September 4th. Okay, now unique to this season, different from the last season, The Boys is going to come out. 3 episodes will come out that weekend, the weekend of September 4th, bingeable. Then the show will be coming out weekly after that. Weekly! It's wild, dude. It's wild. That is so smart, because when we talked about this before, man, but like some of these shows, like specifically The Witcher and The Boys, they both permeated like the popular consciousness on social media. They trended. They really had a lot of cool buzz, but they never were able to capitalize on it or hang on to it, right? So when you do the binging format, it's really hard to just keep being in the collective consciousness. There's no water cooler talk. There's no, like, it doesn't feel like a communal experience because everybody's experiencing it their own way, right? And so I honestly think that, and they said specifically, apparently they said that the reason they did this is because the episodes are going to be so dense and so absurd that they want to give people some time to absorb them between the episodes. I actually think this is brilliant. It's brilliant. And it's going to make it more enjoyable for us here on the channel, too, because we're going to be able to talk about it more. We're going to be able to talk it on a week-to-week basis. It's going to be really cool. Now, there's this other thing that's really interesting when it comes to The Boys, and that is the character of Stormfront. Okay, so Stormfront in the comics is like a Nazi, basically. Like, and actually from that time period, I believe, as well. Okay? So, Stormfront, horrible, vile, disgusting character. Horrible. Way worse than Homelander. Like, literally way worse than Homelander. And what Eric Kripke decided to do with the character was gender bend the character. So Stormfront is now a lady. And she's also from Portland. What? I'm pretty interested to see how are they going to make this character work, and are they going to take some of the things from this character's roots in the comics and sort of do a new take on it? Man, if they do what I think they're going to do with Stormfront, it's going to trigger a lot of people. Like, it's going to trigger a lot of people. Jacob's Quest said, I can hear the angry YouTubers. Dude, I think the people you think are going to be angry about this are not going to be angry about this. I think it's the exact opposite of what you think is going to happen, Jacob. I think the other side is going to be super upset about what they do with Stormfront, if they do what I think they're going to do with the Stormfront character. But regardless, I'm so excited, dude. I'm so excited to see what's going on with the boys, with Butcher, with Homelander, with the Thing that is the twist from the end of the first season, and more Giancarlo Esposito. More Giancarlo Esposito, baby! Going to be a much bigger part of season 2. A very devilish villain. Dude, The Boys is going to be dope. The Boys is gonna be dope. Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, man. I wonder why he's so feared. His powers must be crazy. Who, Stormfront? Yes. Or Homelander. Who are you talking about? Wait, what side am I on? Don't think about it too hard. Just get mad. What is Stormfront? Stormfront is like a Thor. It's a character from the Garth Ennis Mr. What am I blanking on here? The Garth Ennis Boys comic. And Stormfront is a character that becomes a part of the Seven. I think in the books was removed from being part of the, or maybe that was a different one. But anyways, yeah, a male character from the comics that has the similar powers to Thor. That's like an actual Nazi. And now they've gender bent the character and made her from Portland. I'll let you think about what that might mean. You know, I'll let you think about what you think that means. You know, so Eric Kripke, okay, Eric Kripke, the guy that created this show, he's created a couple other shows. Most notably, I think he was heavily involved in Supernatural, right? And there's been some comments by Kripke about the things he wanted to do in season 1. Dude, this dude is obsessed with pushing the envelope. Like, let me just put this out there. The Boys it's a really like hard R, very controversial book. Like real bad, like horrible stuff that actually might be a little bit problematic there. You know what I mean? A lot of people these days might not be super happy about the problematic nature of a lot of the stuff that was in the Boys comics. Kripke mentioned some of the things he wanted to do that Amazon made him cut from season 1, and they are shocking. Like, they're shocking, dude. Like, what? Okay, Kripke. Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and imagine that Boys Season 2 is going to be wild. It's going to ruffle some feathers, basically. It's going to ruffle some feathers, okay? The feathers shall be ruffled. All right? The Boys is also a comic. I just started reading the comic. They changed some things already for the live adaptation, so the Stormfront bend doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I don't know about you guys. I don't really get too bent about gender bends or, race swapping or anything like that. I really don't. It really doesn't bug me a lot. Basically, it's so funny because, this is sort of a weird, controversial thing. But so like a lot of anti SJWs will argue that like a SJW character doesn't actually have any actual character traits or characteristics. They're a platitude. They're basically just a walking platitude. Well, the reverse of that is that if a character is not just a walking platitude, then most of the things that create the context for the character have nothing to do with their race or gender. Do you see what I mean? It's sort of like a logical fallacy there. So normally, I'm not really bothered by any of that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? The Misadventures of Chet, a Boy's Story. Make it happen, Josh. Hey, maybe. What's going on, Stormbreaker? Is Normandy or is the Netherlands not allowing you to do the channel membership? No? No? Is that what's going on? That's kind of weird. All right, so let's get into this very controversial subject. And I just want to preface this by saying, like, look, I think it's an interesting discussion to be had. We don't have to linger on it if you guys don't want to linger on it. But I'm genuinely interested in what different people have to say. And again, I think that if After Dark wants to touch on this, it might be a little bit better to be putting that over there. But we'll talk about it, and then we'll get into Q&A. So if you want to have a conversation about this, we can. If you want to talk about something else, we can talk about something else, okay? So I'm reading right here from IndieWire, okay? The title says, Anthony Mackie, it's racist for Black Panther to be the only MCU film with black crew. Interesting. So, Anthony Mackie says it's bothersome that the 7 films he has made in the Marvel Cinematic Universe have been directed by white filmmakers and featuring predominantly white cast. While speaking with Snowpiercer star David Diggs for Variety's Actors on Actors video interview series, the actor behind the MCU's Falcon shared critical thoughts on Marvel's lack of diversity behind the camera. So here's what he said. He said, when Falcon and the Winter Soldier comes out, I'm the lead, Mackie said. When Snowpiercer came out, you're the lead. We have the power and the ability to ask those questions. It really bothered me that I've done 7 Marvel movies where every producer, every director, every stunt person, every costume designer, every PA, every single person has been white. We've had one black producer. His name was Nate Moore, Mackie confessed. He produced Black Panther. But then, when you do Black Panther, you have a black director, black producer, a black costume designer, a black stunt choreographer. And I'm like, that's more racist than anything else. Because if you only can hire the black people for the black movie, are you saying they're not good enough when you have a mostly white cast? Okay, so I'll read some more of his comments as well, but I really want to get the context here and see what you guys think about this. He goes on to say, my big push with Marvel is hire the best person for the job, Mackie said in his Variety interview. Even if it means we're going to get the best 2 women, we're going to get the best 2 men, fine. I'm cool with those numbers for the next 10 years because it starts to build a new generation of people who can put something on their resume to get them other jobs. If we've got to divvy out as a percentage, divvy it out. And that's something as leading men that we can go in and push for. Okay, now look. This is actually really important. This is actually a really important, very, very interesting, incredibly interesting to me situation. It's incredibly interesting because there's actually I think there's actually several different conversations that he's talking about within this statement. So let's start with his first point, which is to say that the hiring and the assembling of an all-black cast, crew, producer, costume designer, etc., he's saying that it's actually more racist to do that than to not. I just want to generally start there. In the chat, let me know, do you agree with that or do you disagree with that? Okay? And I will go through everybody's comments and we'll talk about that. I think, June says everything he said is right in more than one way, right? I say it's just a coincidence. I made a video about this Saturday. Well, I'll have to check out your video about this, LB. Anthony says he ain't wrong, and he is trying to make a change from the inside. It's complicated, says Jacob's Quest. Heard that, brother. Chet, I want to join. Where's the button? Chet, can you help Mike Porter out, please? What are you even doing over there? By the way, we're going to get Chet with a bag over his head as one of the emotes. I think that'll be hilarious. Bothered him so much he agreed to show. He's speaking truth. He's got a point, though. He's speaking truth. He's right. Yeah. Yes, I agree. Somewhat agree. Oh my God, Marvel Maniac. I don't know if I can show that. I can't show that, but you're not wrong. Oh no, someone else did it. Ah, no. Is he going to leave and not be Falcon anymore? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Jennifer Cook says, makes sense. Black me and woman shouldn't only be hired to tell black-centered stories. Yeah. 100% agree, says Kendall Davis. I mean, he is saying it's racist to only do it for a black superhero. Yeah, so this is what's really interesting about it. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about this, and again, we don't have to linger on this. I know it's a bit uncomfortable, but just bear with me here, guys. I really feel like these issues are A, important, B, applicable to our verticals, and C, better to do in a live streaming environment. I want to play off of you guys. I want to approach this from, and honestly, it's really not that interesting what I think. It's more interesting what you guys think about this. However, I will just say this. I think this is what a lot of people talk about when they say that things like identity politics and things like wokeness are actually not as progressive as they seem. Okay? So I think there's an undercurrent of what Mackie is saying here that would fly in the face of a lot of things that people on the left think are good. Okay? And so I think it's important to bring these comments up and talk about this, because in some ways he's totally right. Like, doing that to Black Panther and only for Black Panther sends a really weird message. I actually think we'll look back at Black Panther maybe in 5 or 10 years and think that film was actually really problematic. And the whole production around it was really problematic. And the other side of this that's really interesting is it sort of shows the disconnect between what Hollywood thinks is a good way to image, a good way to have proper messaging. There's a disconnect between what Hollywood is doing and thinks is the right thing and what is actually probably morally correct. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. Now, the other side of this that's interesting is Mackie is saying that as a leading man, he has the ability to enact changes and to sort of want things to be different. Okay? I think that's really interesting. You know, one of the things that I'm personally hoping will come out of this. You know, if you look at like the John Boyega situation and, you know, John Boyega being very pro BLM, Black Lives Matter, trying to use his platform and his position to enact real change and to help people out. I think it's great. I think it's absolutely great. But one of the things that's really interesting is if you've been following that sort of thing, inevitably the issue came up about Disney and about shrinking him on the poster, and I believe even removing some of his scenes for the Chinese cuts of Marvel movies. I guess what I'm asking is, could we get some actors, could we get some people with leverage to try to get Disney, the big corporation, to make some real meaningful change and not just symbolic change? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of symbolic change. There's a lot of pandering that happens. Okay? But as people kind of, learn more about these situations, become more educated, and just think in a different way, I'm hoping, and I think it's possible, that some of the actors will put the pressure back on big studios like Disney and like other big studios to possibly make some changes that are not so empty, that are more tangible. You know what I mean? I'll say this. I've watched some videos about Mackie. I saw a video where he was talking about, I think it was like cancel culture he was talking about, right? And he said something to the effect of like, Mackie basically said, like, I think right now white people don't have the ability to vocalize questions that they might have about the black community without sort of being judged in a way that's like really, really harsh. Like basically like cancel culture in the way that we're talking about social media, it has sort of eliminated the ability to actually have conversations and then like learn, get a new perspective, and then, move forward with your life. And when I saw Mackie make that sound, I was like, damn, dude, this dude really gets it. I'm basically saying all of this to get to the point that we had a great Captain America. Chris Evans, Steve Rogers. We had a Captain America that was absolutely incredible, that embodied the values, that took it to another level. Not only acted the shit out of it, but became Captain America in a lot of ways on social media and just in general, okay? The more I hear Mackie speak, the more I think we've got another incredible Captain America. We've got another incredibly loving, thoughtful, intelligent Captain America. And, I've told you guys many times, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is one of my most anticipated Marvel properties. I'm so damn excited. But I also think that, honestly, Mackie being Cap, man, we got lucky. We got lucky with another just really good soul that can be an incredible brand ambassador for Marvel, for the MCU, for all of us. Man, I think it's pretty cool. But anyways, guys, let's get into Q&A. And let me know, too, was that too weird? I personally, like I said, I've said it, I probably sound like a broken record at this point. I think it's better to talk about these things in a live streaming setting. But this channel, this whole platform is really, you guys have the remote. So if you don't want to talk about this sort of stuff, you don't want to, you're like, no, I don't want to, let me know. We won't, we'll change it up. Let me know. Let me know what you're thinking. One of my favorite things about the MCU is the way the actors become custodians of the character. Yeah, dude, for real. And honestly, it's weird. In some ways, I can't help but think that's like some Stan Lee magic. Like that's some Stan Lee magic and a true reverence for the characters. And, look, not to upset Tara. I know she just got in and, she's probably just waking up. But, Pattinson doesn't have any reverence for that. As far as we know, he has no reverence for Bruce or the Batman character. It's different over at Marvel. Let's talk about my Patriots signing Cam Newton. Yo, that is so wild, dude. That is so wild. I think Cam's gonna tear it up, man. I'm really excited to see him in Belichick's system too. Belichick. Ryan says, I don't disagree that Mackie will be a good Captain America, and he is correct with his comments. He does seem like a jerk, though. Don't look at race. He talks over everyone he interviews with. Every interview. Yeah, so he is a little, I don't know if what the right word is for it, abrasive maybe? I've definitely seen that. You know, I've seen him be a little abrasive and like energetic and almost dominating in a conversation. But I think that's really just his personality, you know, and who knows, maybe he'll curb that over time. I don't think he's an asshole though. He interrupts everyone. Yeah, man, I don't know, Ryan. I don't know about that. Dang it. I can't scroll up enough to get you, Mike. It doesn't bug me to talk about things like this. However, nothing wrong with having a drink in hand when we do. Amen. Amen, man. What's the most obscure Marvel comic you would want to become a movie? Ooh. That's tough. Most obscure Marvel comic. I mean, maybe Great Lakes Avengers, maybe West Coast Avengers. Something like that would be pretty obscure. I think, honestly, MODOK in general coming in is going to be pretty obscure. Like when I was, we were doing the live stream talking about the Avengers game, right? And when they mentioned MODOK, like they're talking about MODOK and stuff, and the developer says something like, "We knew we had to have a villain that was intelligent enough to threaten the Avengers and powerful enough to be a true Avengers level threat." And I started laughing. I started geeking out. I'm like, "What? They really just said that? They really just said that? MODOK?" No. No, no. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Look at that baby Yoda with the shocked eyeballs. I love that. I love that stuff. Squirrel Girl would be cool too. Do we know how many episodes Falcon and Winter Soldier would be? I believe it's 6. I believe it's 6 episodes. I don't know if that's like legit confirmed, but I think it is 6 episodes. Work meeting over, says Mav. Well, that is dope, dude. I'm glad. Glad you're free. Jack of Hearts is pretty obscure. That's true. That is really true. I could see Squirrel Girl being in Deadpool 3. Yeah. What do you mean about MODOK? Is he not tough? He's kind of like a joke, in my opinion. MODOK's often been sort of a joke in the comics. I mean, he's done some serious stuff. I think the biggest stuff they did, like when he was with the leader and stuff, was sort of creating Red Hulk. We talking with you this week, Josh? I think so. Yeah, I think so. I don't see why not. Thoughts on SDCC? Do you think Falcon and the Winter Soldier and WandaVision trailers released? Man, I really hope so. Look, I know a lot of like Marvel people, a lot of like the insiders, the scoopers, the whatever. They're all saying like, hey, curb your enthusiasm. The Marvel's fine. They don't need to do all this, that, and the other thing. I think you guys know if you've been watching the show, I strongly disagree. Are you kidding me? They're letting DC run away with all the headlines. DC's making all the news. So no. I don't think Marvel's just fine. I think Marvel needs to come out swinging. I think we need a trailer. I think we need some teasers. I think we need some X-Men. I think we need some Fantastic Four. That's what I think. MODOK is as serious as Mojo. You're not wrong. They really made MODOK the main villain, then called him an Avenger-level villain. LOL, this game could have been a perfect time to use Kang or the Beyonder. I know, right? Right? DC making news, but they haven't delivered anything yet. Yeah, that's totally fair. That is totally fair. It's totally fair. Oh, man, what are you more excited for, the DC fandom or SDCC? Okay, this is tough, man. This is tough. I'm actually more excited for DC fandom. I'm more excited for DC fandom. I can't believe I'm going to say it. Because I think DC, what I'm anticipating is that DC is going to come out and essentially solve some of their biggest problems and clear stuff up. If they come out and clear stuff up, that's all I need to do. Just clear it up for us, explain what's happening. I would tease Flash. I would tease Flash a little bit. Tease the Flash. And I'm going to be very excited. But if we get some footage for like Falcon and the Winter Soldier or whatever, yeah, I'm going to be there. Brian O'Connor coming in hot with the super chat. Thank you for the love, my friend. Russo brothers to direct a Star Wars movie. Rumor. Yeah. So I've heard this rumor. I haven't been able to confirm that with anybody. I do know that Feige has a very special relationship with those brothers. I see no reason as to why he wouldn't want them to do a Star Wars movie. I also see no reason as to why Disney wouldn't want them to do a Star Wars movie. Like, come on, dude. Russo brothers Star Wars movie? Hell yeah. Sign me up. By the way, I read the first chapter of the High Republic novel from Charles Soule. Anybody read that? Anybody want to talk about that? Oh my God, and how can I forget? Look, guys, a huge matchup this week on the Nerd Card Showdown Wednesday. Last week we had some scheduling conflicts. That's on me. I apologize. But this Wednesday, 8 p.m., an absolutely epic episode of the Nerd Card Showdown at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You better be there. The Slipper Clan going up against the Fantastic Four, the first elimination round. The first elimination round. Look at all these Nerd Vengers. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy. Hi, F Public. Public. Hi, Public. Oh, man. June says, if theaters still aren't back to normal by November, will Disney push all their movies again or release Widow VOD? That's a great question. I don't know, man. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Disney should have released Black Widow VOD already by now. I think they should have. I mean, look. You want to know what I like talking about even less than Anthony Mackie calling out Marvel and the very sensitive, hyper controversial topic of race in front of and behind the camera? You know what I like talking about even less than that? The status of theaters and safety around the world. So look, here's what I'll say. Uh, 2020, what are you doing? 2020, what are you doing? You know, like we thought, Al Schuler, man, yo, you're going to love these Anthony Mackie comments. I'm not going to go over it right now again, brother, but it would be dope if you guys wanted to maybe touch on this on After Dark on Thursday, man. I would be really interested to get your take on that, Al. We can talk about that later in a movie. But like, guys, like I don't know what the hell is happening. I don't know what the hell is happening. I so badly want things to just get solidified and to be normal. We know when the freaking movies are coming out. We know when we're going to go check these movies out, guys. I got a bad feeling, man. I got a bad feeling that we think things are going to be normal next year. I'm not so sure, guys. I'm not so sure. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, we better not make any hard and fast plans for 2021. We better let's just wait and see a little bit. Because I don't know. I have no idea. But I'll say this, to answer that question, man, I think if things are still really shaky by November, I do think Disney does it VOD. I actually think they could do Mulan VOD. I think they should do Mulan VOD. They should do Mulan VOD, see how it goes. Then they should do Black Widow VOD, see how it goes. And then just do your Disney Plus stuff, man. Here's the thing. If they push Falcon and the Winter Soldier back because Black Widow can't come out in theaters, and I'm forced to wait to watch a streaming show that I'm very excited about, and I'm forced to wait for no other reason than Disney is jerking around saying, we're going to wait till things go back to normal. We're going to delay the entire phase 4 of the MCU until we can get those big bucks in theaters. If that shit's happening, I'm going to be pissed. No, Feige, no. Just put it on VOD. I know you'll break Trinity's heart. That's okay. That's okay. Millen Jackson says, Josh, how long is this stream going to go? I don't know. Is Trinity streaming? Does anybody know if Trinity's streaming? Trinity, are you streaming? I need a... we need an emoji for that. Like, is Trinity streaming kind of emoji? Like, maybe I'm like this. Or maybe we get, like, I don't know. I want to have some fun with these emojis. You know what I mean? Like, I really do. I think the membership thing's going to be so cool. Living rent-free in Josh's head. Yeah, you are. Are you streaming, Trinity? Are you streaming, Trinity? Trinity, are you dreaming, Trinity? Chat emoji or a riot? Dude, we're getting chat emojis for sure. You want to see my link? Let's keep it PG over here, Trin. Jeez. Didn't you pay attention to the business stream we had yesterday? Didn't I explain to you why you have to change your ways? Trinity, are you dreaming, Trinity? Trinity, are you streaming, Trinity? Are you streaming, Trinity? Are you streaming? Is that voice changer working? Can you hear that? Is it doing it for you? Let me see something here. There's the audio. Man, guys. So weird. Can you hear the voice changer or no? Because I can like hear my regular voice and the voice changer. It's kind of weird. It's bugging me out. It sounds like a little kid is off screen mocking you. Getting both normal and voice changer. Yeah, what's up with that? Why is that happening? Oh my god, everyone! Stormbreaker has joined the Nerdvengers! Let's give it. Can we get some applause in chat? You did it! You son of a bitch, you did it! You did it! Yeah! Whoop whoop! That's what I'm talking about. Well done. Well done, fam. Woo! Nice. Well done. Stormbreaker is the man. You guys are awesome, man. Thank you so much for the love. Hey, tomorrow, DC Tuesday. We're trying to get back into like Marvel Mondays, Star Wars Sundays, Marvel Mondays, DC Tuesdays, okay? So tomorrow, DC Tuesday, I do want to talk about the Michael Keaton news. Jeremy Conrad just posted that that he'll likely have the Kingdom Come suit, the Kingdom Come bat suit in the Flash movie? Guys, did we call it or did we call it? Did we call it or did we call it? We called it, baby. We called it. Totally agree. I paid for a 3-year deal for Disney Plus at D23. It's like almost a year thrown away. Mandalorian onward. Yeah, dude. 2020 feels like if you were like if we were playing golf, or if we were playing like if we were bowling or something like that. This would be one of those rounds that we would just scratch. We'd just be like just get that out of here. Get that out of here, man. Dan the man coming in hot with the super chat. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan. Hey, Dan! Thank you, bro. Heard through the vine, Warner Brother wants Bale back now. Here's what I'll say to that. Here's what I'll say to that, Dan. DC does have a backup plan if Keaton falls through, and I think it will be a very similar design with a different person that played Batman. I cannot confirm or deny that Christian Bale is the one they're looking at. But Dan, you're onto something. Stormbreaker coming in with the super chat. Belgium with their stupid law. But I made it. Well, welcome, man. We're very happy to have you. We're very, very happy to have you, man. Clooney, says Trev. That'd be kind of funny. That'd be kind of wild, man. That'd be kind of wild. Look, guys, I'm hoping we get some Mandalorian news this week. I think we might get some Mandalorian news. There's some crazy stuff going on in the streaming world. So bizarre. I'm trying to find out what's going on with that. We've got some Marvel stuff. There was a Shang Chi story. I didn't get to it today. I actually did want to talk about this. The flashback sequence that's likely in Shang Chi, and how that could potentially tie into some things from Eternals. So, look, I'm hoping we get a little info, a little Marvel info. You know what I mean? I'd really like to talk about some Marvel stuff. Either way, we're going to talk about Marvel stuff, but I just would like some actual juice. You know what I mean? Some actual juice. Press the emoji button next to your text, Mike. The gray smiley face. Yeah. And you know what, too? So this Saturday, guys, so let me just explain this. And then we're going to send you over to Trinity Stream, okay? So, every Saturday at noon, EDT or EST, Eastern Daylight Time, Eastern Standard Time, I don't know, whatever. What I used to know is Eastern Standard Time. Every Saturday at noon, we're now doing a members-only live stream. So this Saturday, all of you beautiful members of the Nerdvengers, we're going live Saturday at noon, and it's just going to be us. We're all just going to be hanging out, just the members. And what I want to talk to you guys about is, what kind of emojis do you want? What kind of emojis are we going to put in there? What kind of stuff do we want to do as the Nerdvengers together? Are we going to be getting some specific Nerdvengers merchandise? You know, all sorts of stuff like that. So please, if you can, come on by this Saturday where we will go over all of that. I see the old emojis when I do that. I'm not sure how to get to the new emojis, my friend, so I apologize. I'm not sure. I apologize. Let's see if we can pull up Trinity's stream. Trinity, are you streaming? Trinity, are you streaming? Oh my God, Trinity's not streaming for 6 more minutes? Okay. All right. Okay. We can do this. We can chat. Hoping for a good nerdy week, man. Good nerdy week. Did you guys see the Star Wars video we put up yesterday? Emoji movie too. Sony, please. Yeah, we could do some Sony stuff. Sony emojis. proud to be a Nerd Venger. Well, we're proud to have you, man. Yeah, so if you don't know what that Death Star one is, it's kind of funny, but maybe we need to rework it. So it's the Death Star shooting out the demonetized symbol. You know what I mean? Josh would pay $100 for Black Widow VOD. I don't know if I'd pay $100, but I'd pay. Y'all are lucky I can't drop gifts in here. One that's red that says Chet. Yeah, so I think there needs to be one where I'm yelling at Chet, right? Then there needs to be one of Chet. So when he screws up, we can put like the Chet. I'm thinking like Chet with the paper bag over his head, kind of like doing one of these, like, you know. I'd pay $50. I'd probably pay close to that. I'd pay like $30, $40 for it. Josh is singing. Run, says Dave. Had to refresh to get the emojis. Nice, dude. Nice. Yeah, they're kind of fun, huh? I love this stuff. Like I'm really excited about some of the other stuff that we have going on behind the scenes. So yeah, dude. The Nerd Vengers strong. Nerd Vengers strong. Trinity. Oh, by the way, too, total side note for everybody that's in here. Dude, that's like 3 a.m. in the morning for me. I'll be there. Holy crap, really? Well, maybe we can, well, we can talk about that. We can try to change them up. They don't always have to be at noon, but that's just what's better for me or whatever. Wayne, having fun with the emojis. Yeah, man, dude. Oh, yeah, dude. The amount of streaming and stuff and the cool, like, dude, we're just taking this experience to the next level. It's going to be really, really fun. Yeah. So the whole idea with the Baby Yoda one is like, you know, you've seen the eyeballs, right? It's sort of like the shocked, like, like what? You know, kind of thing. So we're doing that with Baby Yoda. I thought it was pretty funny. If Michael Keaton is confirmed as old Batman, you should show Chet face one time, not too long, so the camera don't break. Maybe we will someday. Maybe we'll do a face reveal for Chet someday. You know? Yeah, we could figure something like that out. But anyway, okay, so small side note here, just a small story. Last night I ran my first ever Dungeons and Dragons campaign as the Dungeon Master. So, as the Dungeon Master, it's the first time I ever ran a campaign as the Dungeon Master. It was a homebrewed campaign, but it was really fun, and I learned a lot, and I had a lot of fun. And the two buddies that ran it with me said that I did a good job. They said they had a lot of fun. So, that was so cool. I was really into that. It's a totally different experience. It's so different than playing. It's kind of crazy. I almost feel like you're not as immersed as the Dungeon Master, which makes sense. But like you're thinking about so much, you're processing so much. Haven't had a chance to watch your new Star Wars vid yet. Yeah, so the new Star Wars vid, I was talking about just how bright the future is for Star Wars. It's a really positive video. Just some of the things that people are saying out there. There's some comments that Jon Favreau recently made. There's some comments that the CEO of EA made. We're heading in a really good direction with Star Wars. So I'm very excited about that. And here's to hoping we get a lot of beautiful Star Wars news this week, and we get to geek out about that. And we get some awesome Marvel news, and we get to geek out about that as well. Yeah, man. So Trinity is about to stream, guys. Literally about to stream. I'm going to grab the link. Guys, the amount of members we had signed up today, I mean, it's out of control, dude. It's out of control. You guys are amazing. You guys are like, look, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. We have an incredible community, man. We have an incredible community, and we're we're working on so much stuff behind the scenes, and we're gonna just try to provide as much amazing content as we can. And I think by the end of this year, you guys are gonna be like, damn, like the Den of Nerds really stepped up. They're doing all this crazy stuff, and I love checking it all out. And a lot of it's gonna be directly because of you guys. The support that we're gonna get from the channel memberships, it's really gonna help us take some resources and put them into things to improve the content for you guys, to improve the merchandise, to improve, all aspects of the channel. So you guys are amazing. Thank you so damn much from the bottom of my heart. So one more time, let's get Trinity's link into chat. We're talking DC tomorrow. Oh man, it's gonna be dope. I can't wait to talk some DC tomorrow. It's gonna be very fun. And there will be Wayne White, my man. And so, yeah, there will be some cool videos coming out today and throughout the week. You guys are amazing. Head on over to Trinity's stream. Give him some love. And as I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video.